Welcome to the Fit Talk episode. Oh shit, this is episode 6. My man, Coach D.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Daniel Ponce. This is a funny guy right here. Let me tell you something, man. I never told you this before. Well, actually, I told you like 5 minutes before we got on this. But, this is the one dude that I met after my previous training experiences, of course, with I know we said we were gonna mention box gyms, but New York Sports Club. That I actually respect his training style. No offense to any other trainers I've worked with, but this is the first dude that I've seen pull out these bad boys right here.
Bands, you know?
Bands. And actually knew how to use them with functional training and corrective exercise. So, welcome to the Fit Talk, my friend.
Well, glad to be here. I've been bothering this guy.
Yo, word. You were one of the first people that hit me up when you saw the first one with Jermaine. Of course, you're friends with Maine Wonder, Mr. Maine Wonder, or Bodyweight Will, whatever you call yourself nowadays. And yeah, man, thank you for coming on. Thank you for expressing interest. Thank you for the support too.
Yeah,
also, man, I appreciate that. So, you know, tell the people about yourself, man. Tell the people how you got into fitness. You know, what's up with Danny? No one knows this new guy. Who's this guy?
I saw my man before I even get into it. I saw my man Dennis. He had his bands on, and I was like, okay, who's this guy? It was my first time working at like a box gym. I was been doing martial arts for a long time. I'll get into a second, but I saw him over there. I was like, this Puerto Rican guy, he's got the bands. So I was like, okay. Yeah. So I'm bringing my bands tomorrow. But you know what? Actually, like I said, I've never been in a box gym. And my man Dennis was kind of pulling me to the side, helped me out, kind of showed me the ropes. Something I really appreciate because that environment or those boxers can be kind of cutthroat. Everybody's looking out for themselves, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But it brought me to the side. I was like, hey, listen, do this. And that's something I really appreciated.
Thank you.
They kind of showed me the ropes and everything. And then from then on, it was all good.
There you go.
But a little bit about myself. Let me see. I got into fitness when I was young. Like 14, 13 years old, doing martial arts.
Okay.
I love Bruce Lee's martial arts, so I was doing Jeet Kune Do.
Okay.
So I started doing that. And I was training for maybe like a year or so. And I was like, how do I get better?
Okay.
Obviously I'm going to come train every day, but how do I get better quicker? And that's where the weight training kind of regimen kind of brought in. I found this book called Expressing the Human Body, and it was just Bruce Lee's workouts. You know, nothing crazy, like what he did. And I was like, I picked one of those workouts, and I just started doing Bruce Lee's workouts. I would be like Bruce Lee. So,
that's not a bad person to be like.
I was doing, actually, and Bruce Lee was a pretty smart guy.
Yeah.
So I mean, at the time, what was he doing? He was just doing a lot of. Back in the 70s, so a lot of strength training, nothing crazy, deadlifts, squats,
the basics.
Basic stuff. Yeah. But then he started doing reading, he started doing circuits, I don't think he did any plyometrics, but he did a lot of circuits, a lot of PHAs and stuff like that. So I started doing all that, a lot of reading. There's no corrective exercise or anything like that. Yeah. None of that came out at the time. But I just started lifting weights, and it actually did get me better, because any type of strength training program is going to make you better. Especially when you're doing some type of sport, any type of athletic activity. Now, obviously, there are ways to train for a certain sport. I didn't know any of this stuff. I just wanted to get stronger because I assumed if I got stronger, I would be better at martial arts.
Right.
And it did make me better to a certain extent. That's how I got into it. And then I went into the Marines.
Yeah, that's right. This guy is a veteran, so salute this man right here.
Thank you very much.
He served his country. He keeps serving his country. All right.
So I went to the Marines, and the Marines is all about fitness, and I really like that. Yeah. I like being competitive,
right?
Like running, and then the guy next to me, he can't run, and I laugh at him a little. I'm like, come on. But I like that. I like being, going there and like I like that aggressiveness. I like being competitive. It's fun. Yeah. It's something that really drives me. Yeah. So I really like that about the Marines because you got to put up or shut up. You got to be in shape. Doesn't matter how much you know.
Yeah.
You got to be in shape. Half the trainers I know could run around the block with me and be dead. They can like curl something, they can do something, but they can't actually go out there and perform.
Right.
And to me, fitness is about performance. I understand, I think people come, I want to lose weight, I want to look good, and for me, that's a byproduct of working out. Yeah. You can work out for that, and like, listen, doesn't matter what your goal is. I respect people who have discipline and work hard.
Yeah.
For me personally, looking good is just secondary. I look good already. Smile like that. See?
This guy's born for the camera, isn't he, right?
So, I want to be able to perform. I want to be able to pick something up, run 20 miles, and when I get to that spot, if I'm in the Marines, be able to do my job. Right. I don't want someone to have to carry me. I just spent like 4 months in Georgia training,
Right.
And none of these kids could do anything.
Right.
I had to carry them and do all that stuff and still do my job.
Right.
And I was fortunate enough, because leadership is really important to me, to be put as a leader in front of them.
Right.
But being a leader, you got to be able to be fit.
Right.
And that's something, I like that stuff, being fit, doing all that stuff. But
Right.
so I went to the Marines, a lot of working out. When I first got to the Marines, they gave me this weapon called the Saw. It's like 16 pounds, but it's a heavier weapon. It's a machine gun. So they gave me the heaviest weapon and said, hey, this guy's in shape. Take this weapon, take an extra 1,000 rounds, all this stuff. So I don't even know. I probably weighed like 150 back then. And then you have all this gear. You have like an extra 100 pounds on. But you got to run and you got to sprint and you got to do this stuff. You got to be in shape to do it. Right. So that was tough. And then I went to Iraq and I was able to perform and do well there.
Yeah.
I did that twice. And then I decided to get out of the Marines, and I went to college. And the great thing about the Marines is they pay for college.
Yeah.
So I didn't have to get a job. I just worked out.
Yeah.
I went to college. I got my bachelor's in sports science and my master's in exercise physiology. And then I taught martial arts for about 5-6 years. And then I went to a box gym. And then I met my man right here, Dennis.
Happens like that sometimes.
And then I made the switch into the Army. So now I'm in the Army, National Guard, so I do that occasionally. And now here I am, just doing my thing. And then, of course, I also started my own business as well.
Yeah.
Because after working in martial arts and doing the boxing, martial arts is different because they're not trying to hit certain goals. It's all about self-defense.
Right.
But then going to a box gym and seeing kind of what they were doing, I was like, I don't know what they were doing, to be honest. There were people all over. There are people all over the place. There are trainers who just don't know much, and I didn't know what the hell was going on. Like I said, I saw Dennis in there, I saw Jermaine in there. I was like, okay, these guys are doing different things. Everybody, you know what it is? Everybody has that sense. Oh, okay. Let me go bench. Let me go squat. Let me go deadlift, and that's the process. Those are great exercises, but they don't fit everybody. So. It all depends on your goals and who you're training and stuff like that. But I just saw that there's not a lot of educated trainers out there.
Yes. That is very true. All right, so you spoke a little bit about different exercises and about how they don't work for certain demographics of people, right? So what is the basis for your training style? What's your training style?
So
if you could describe it.
Okay, my training style changes all the time.
Okay.
So
continuously variable transmission.
So it's even changed for the last week, to be honest. Because I spend a lot of time just reading, and the thing about being an athlete is you want to get better.
Right.
So if you stick to the same program, you're not gonna make any changes. You're not gonna get better. After training for a certain amount of years, you're gonna plateau. Every athlete does. Right. So how do you get better? So originally, even with the, I would say I was very into, and I still am into functional training. It's almost dirty word. Because there's like there's a hit or miss with functional training because people don't understand it.
Right.
When you say functional training, I think people think, oh, standing on top of a Swiss ball, or they're like, oh, that's stupid because they don't really understand it. So it's like, to me, training is about movement patterns.
Right.
And originally, I was all about muscles. Okay, chest, back, biceps, because that's what they did in the 70s, and that's what I knew when I was a kid. You get muscle and fitness, okay. Get Arnold, that's my man.
That's my man too, bro. Let's keep it real. It's not really too functional.
Right? You know? So that's what I was doing. And then I went to college, and everything was really sports specific. They were doing all these things, and everyone has a different training mentality. I did some internships with all the people I was telling you, and everybody was doing different. And then I started working at Crunch. No,
keep it there. Man. You started working at Crunch.
Started working at the box gym.
Crunch Fitness.
And doing all this stuff, and I was watching the trainers. Ultimately, like I said, it's about movement patterns. I don't break down exercises by muscles. I used to break it down by upper body, lower body, core, and I don't even do that anymore.
Right.
I do it by patterns. Right. I do push, pull, knee dominant. Okay. Like hip dominant.
Okay.
That's the way I break.
Flexion extension.
Yeah, that's the way I break down my programs now. Movement. Can this person move?
Right.
Do they have good mobility? Mobility, for me, mobility, then stability, and then whatever comes after it. Then they can actually do the movements.
Right.
My client can't move. Then I don't need them to be stable because they can't move. So mobility first. All right. I do address like those big exercises, right? I do go to, so it depends on. All right, I don't need to do squats. I don't need to have my clients do squats in terms of back squats.
Right.
I'll have them do front squats, not load their spine and stuff like that.
Which is actually more functional anyway.
It is because another thing. The thing is with squats is an ego thing.
Right. I
want to squat more than you.
Right.
It doesn't matter how I do it. But as long as I get it up there. Yeah. So if they call it strength before dysfunction. They're adding strength to dysfunction. Right? It's a Gray Cook thing, right? Right. They can't move, but they want to throw some weight on their back. Yeah. So mobility. The reason I like front squats is, first off, it takes the ego out because you can't lift as much.
Absolutely.
And you have to do it the right way.
Absolutely.
Or else you are going to get hurt. Absolutely. All right? So front squats, I don't really like to deadlift with a barbell. I much prefer like a kettlebell, dumbbell, or a trap bar or hex bar. Okay. Just because it offers better movement. And movement
the hex bar is actually one of my favorites. I don't do it as much anymore, but I used to do a lot before because it enables you to activate more core musculature, in my opinion. Yeah. I don't know if it's something as professionals may agree or disagree, but I mean, I'm pretty sure most of the people that know me and I know would agree because that's how we see things more functional, more technical.
You can do all these, like you can use a barbell if it's done the right way. It just happens that people, for some reason, when they get their hands on their barbell, they just think about lifting. I don't know. They just don't do it the right way.
They just want to get it up.
That's why all these other modalities and these other pieces of equipment give us the ability to make sure our clients move the right way. And movement's the most important thing to me. Mm-hmm. If my client can squat and he can move right, sure, I'll throw a whole bunch of weight on them. That's fine if that's their goal. Yeah. But if that's not their goal, we don't need to do that. Second is, I love to do everything on one leg. Single leg. Get them on one leg. Do everything on one leg, right? Because that's how you move in real life. Right? I don't squat outside often unless I'm under a bar. I don't know when I squat. I'm trying to think of the time I go around outside squatting, but I haven't. Yeah. Right? I do a lot of, when I get out of my car, I rotate, I get up, like it's all, everything is exactly, like it's, and even it's not a squat, it is almost a squat per se, but there's rotation in there. Right? So, squat doesn't mimic that much of actual real life activity, but it is a good exercise. Okay. I don't want to take anything away from it, but if I'm going to do it, it's going to be front squats. So when I start my programs, all right, everybody's an athlete to me. Right. My warm-up, so I've changed my warm-up a lot too. So originally it was all like that NASM kind of way, and I love NASM, which was all right. We got to hit this corrective exercise. Let me get my client to do this overhead squat, these different movements. Let's see how they move. Are they running their back? Are they arching their back? Are their shoulders elevated? Are they leaning forward? Do they have tight hip flexors? Now, I will do that per se, but my warm up is a corrective dynamic warm up that addresses the common imbalances someone will have. Right? Because everybody has these imbalances, and even if you don't, there's nothing wrong with doing corrective exercise. Everyone can do more corrective exercise. Yeah, absolutely. Right? So my warm-up is a lot of thoracic mobility, ankle mobility, hip mobility, shoulder stability, mobility, and then getting them to move through these actual patterns. And then I'm going to activate some muscular. I'm going to activate the glutes, glute medius, glute max. I'm going to activate the core. Then once those muscles are activated, I'm going to start with an Olympic lift if that's what I want. If I'm training an athlete, because you don't do the Olympic lifts at the end of your workout. You don't do it in the middle of your workout. You do it in the beginning of the workout. We're not doing this CrossFit stuff. We do it all over the place. You do it in the beginning.
That's something else we can talk about later.
But because that's the most neuromuscular thing. Everything needs to work a certain way. So you do your Olympic lift in the beginning. If you need to rest 3 to 5 minutes in between, that's fine. So you do your Olympic lifts. And then after that, I might do some core stability or core power, depending on the day. I usually do 4-day programs. That's my ideal. Right. So core stability or core power. And then after that, I'm going to get into the program. And I might pair it off. So like before, I used to do stretching at the end of everything. Right. Now I don't do that. I stretch in my program in the middle, like when they're working out. So we'll do, it's part of like a tri-set or a giant set. Okay. So it's part of in there because I know myself, like after I work out, I don't want to stretch after. I don't know how, like.
And a lot of people do, keep it real. Like, a lot of people don't want to stretch after.
I know it's good to stretch 15, 20 minutes, you start stretching afterwards, but I don't want to do it. So I put it inside my program during my breaks.
That's good.
So my clients don't stop moving. Like, we're not going to, I know you want to talk to me. Yeah, it's awesome to talk to me, but you're not gonna talk. You can talk to me while you're stretching, but we're gonna do our workout. You're gonna stretch, then you're gonna hit the next exercise. You're gonna do it as a tricep or a giant set. Then I'll break it down. So I might have a knee dominant or a hip dominant exercise in the beginning. Then I might have a horizontal pushing exercise, and then so you're doing total body, but you're either only doing push that day, and then next day you'll do push. But so I'll have a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday take a break, Thursday, Friday. Ideal. If depending on the client and their schedule, it's gonna change. Some people can do 4-day workouts. Some people can only do 3-day workouts. Ideal, personally, is 4. So there's gonna be some flexibility and corrective stuff inside of that program, but also addressing their goals. So everybody needs to move well. That's the most important thing. I can fix a squat in one day by changing little things. All right, if the person is squatting in all their form like most people do.
Yeah.
All right, change it to a goblet squat. All right, they're gonna fix it because now they don't have that bar on their back.
Yeah.
Okay, if they still can't do that, take some weights, 2-pound weights, put it under their heel. Now I fix their squat because the issue is either hip flexibility, hip mobility or ankle mobility, and that's it. I think they can squat now, and then I can address their muscle imbalances in the program and they're good to go. But I've gotten them working out.
Yeah.
They're having a good time, and I'm fixing their stuff without them really knowing it. That's really my training style.
Don't make it too boring, right?
No, just get in there, make them work hard, not too hard, make it fit. Like a lot of people think, okay, soreness equates to a good workout.
No, that's not true.
Yeah.
I tell people that shit all the time.
You don't need to be sore.
Yeah.
Again, people go to the gym and they get a new trainer, he's excited, they don't know anything about training, and they kill the person and the person can't move the next day, and they don't come back, or they don't go to a gym ever again.
Yeah.
And now you just ruin that person's experience. Yeah. They're not going to get fit. Yeah. And you're not going to have a client. So
soreness is relative to flexibility.
Yeah,
you know. It's just that's really what it is. People like, oh, I feel dead. Oh, I feel so hurt. Like, you need to stretch. That's really what it is.
Yeah, people don't address that, you know. Yeah. And then, of course, in the beginning of my workout, my warm-up, we'll start with some foam rolling, you know. Yeah. Then I'll get into like the dynamics of it, actually. But my program is always changing. Okay. So always changing. I'm always trying to get better. Okay. I'm a work in progress, just like everybody else. If you see a trainer who's doing they're doing the same thing they were doing last year, they're a shitty trainer. The same thing 2 years, even a couple months. Like, change. Like, you can have a core. I'm not saying everything should be completely different. Like, I'm not completely different from what I was before. Yeah. Where you're gonna see little things that are changing. Yeah. You're gonna see even my workouts. You know. Yeah,
constantly evolving.
One of my favorite things to do is like a Turkish getup. Like, if I can't do a lot of stuff with my clients, I'll do a Turkish getup because movement. It gets them moving a certain way, and they're everything they need to have that rhythm. Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that fixes a lot of imbalances right there. Mm-hmm. Some trainers stay away from it because they don't know how to do it. That's another thing. They don't know how to do these things. Yeah. So they just look in the NASA book and it's like, you got to stretch the hamstring, and then you got to put a stability ball behind them and have them do squats. I'm going to have them do that. Yeah. Let me have them do a dead bug.
Okay. I hate the dead bug. Yeah. I hate that shit. I see trainers do that shit, I'm like,
be like every other. You can be like every other trainer, but you gotta be a little. NASA was great. Not that I'm not trying to say anything bad about them, but use them and then kind of
think your own.
Yeah, you gotta be smart enough to be your own trainer. Mm-hmm. And I'm saying this little band, I can do so many different exercises with this band.
And that's funny because that's a constant theme. This is like about the third episode, right? Because my man Trey messes with the bands. My man AB, I mess with the bands too. Now you must have been. So technically, this is 4th episode where we have trainers using the bench. Just saying. All
right. So if I have to talk about equipment, like my go-to stuff, the bands essentially, because you can use these everywhere. You can do a whole bunch of things. These all types of bands, not just these types. Yeah. These are great, but like those little Versa loops that you can tie around your hips. Mm-hmm. Even there's a whole bunch of different ones that you can strap around your legs, like you can use for speed and agility. Mm-hmm. Regular resistance bands, that have the strap
handles.
Yeah, like all of those are great. My ladder, I didn't even talk about my ladder. I love the ladder.
Yeah, this. If you ever see this guy work out, go to his page. We're gonna advertise his page. This dude dances like a ball dance on those.
So the bands, the ladder, because you can do a whole bunch of stuff and it's fun. It's fun. People like that. Do something different. I like it for agility. Yeah. Cones. I love using the cones. Doing a whole bunch of different drills. Cones, ladder, let's say TRX. I love the TRX. A lot of good core core stuff, core activation. You can just do so many stuff. A lot of strength stuff. A lot of hard things that you wouldn't think you could get from those straps, but you can do. Stability ball. I don't even know the name of it. What's the thing? The core thing? The ab roller. I love the ab roller too. But those things, I can throw that in my backpack, go to your house, and you'll have the best workout of your life.
One piece of equipment that people don't use enough of, that I think is great, the valve slides.
Okay, yeah, that's another one. I actually want to buy another because you can do so many things. Oh, another piece of equipment. Well, we'll talk about the slides though, because you can do lunges with them. You can do push-ups with them. So what I used to do, all right, if you're on a budget, buy yourself a paper plate. Okay. This is now a valve slide. This is what you know. Or get a little towels, put that on the floor, and you can do like on my website. I have people using those. So hey, grab a little towel. Yeah. And you can do the same exercise.
It's true. Right? You're right. We need the valve slides.
Right.
Just for the record.
But they're a good piece of equipment. Man, there was
valve slide sales to have that.
Don't tag them with this one.
Don't matter, man. We didn't make them, so.
I can't remember. It's so there's this piece of equipment. I think it's like a slide board.
You know I know exactly what you're talking about. I forget what it's called. It's like it's like a.
It's a white piece of thing. It's like a body slide. I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Yeah, something like that.
It has these little booties and stuff.
And
you can use it just like the valve slide, but you can do a lot of function because you can get 4 or 5 athletes on it at the same time. Right. And then you can have them do all kinds of different stuff. Like it's just a great piece of equipment. All those functional pieces of equipment, you can do so many stuff. The sky's the limit.
Yeah.
Listen, best advice for training is look at an exercise and say, how can I make this more realistic? If I'm benching, all right, don't take out the bench out of your program. First off, like from a personal training perspective, because people want to bench. Yeah. So. Depends on your client. So you have somebody who's adamant about benching, take the bench, grab a pair of dumbbells. All right, let's do some 1-arm dumbbells. He benched with this, hold that up. Now he's activating the core. You made it more functional. Put him on a Swiss ball, right? But even if he wants to do it on the bench, have him do it on 1 arm, hold the other one up. Like, all right, now it's more functional. He's still benching. Yeah, you get 2.
You do a lot of shit. Move down the bench. Everybody's glutes to keep his
you can do so many different things. And now, all right, he's still benching. He's happy, and you made it a little bit more functional, which is great. Take the squats if they do front squats. Say, hey, do it on one leg. Try to put the guy first off. Have him go in a box, like a plow box, and have him try to do a pistol squat. Even if he can bench 350 pounds, I bet you he won't do it. Of course. He's gonna fall off of it. So why can't I do this? Right? Because he doesn't have any stability. Yeah. Core. His glutes aren't activated the right way. He can't stabilize his hips. Yeah. Like, all right. I don't need you, bro. You can't do anything. Like, I always tell this, like, if you can't perform, I don't want you. Like, if I'm in the military right now. Yeah. If you can't perform, you're worthless. I don't care if you can squat 200, 300 pounds. I don't care if you can bench. If you can't perform, you're worthless. Yeah. Obviously, I do martial arts. I was in basic training. We had a guy there, bodybuilding, great shape. Yeah. Had a little bit of attitude problem stuff. Right. Don't fight. But we wrestled around and stuff like that. So one day he was just talking smack. So we wrestled a little bit. Took me about 10 seconds to choke this guy out because it doesn't matter that you squat so much. Like that's not. I don't want to say it's not real world strength, but you need to learn how to take that strength and translate it into power. Right. And what's the difference there? It's time. How long does it take someone to squat 400 pounds? You might stay down there like he's there for a second. It's all red and everything. You know, it takes time. You need speed. Yeah. Speed gives you power. Yeah. And power is really important to me. Performance is really important to me. Yeah. Again, like I said, it all depends on your goals. Those just happen to be my goals. Right. Somebody else might want to squat 300, 400 pounds. Go. I'll help you do it. Yeah. But let's do it the right way. Yeah. Let's make sure there's not too much pressure on your spine because as you get older, it's not the best for you. That's it, man.
All right, so we're gonna take it home on that. Where can they find you on social media? Websites and that type of shit.
So first, you can go to my business. It is at reelmovement.com. That is 2 E's like a film reel. Right.
Yeah, photo reel.
Yeah. So REE and movement.com. So you can go there. You get 2 free weeks. You can try that out. If you know my man Dennis over here, you get a special price, so you just got to DM me, let me know. Second is you can go to my Instagram page. I'm always posting workouts on there. So it's Coach. You're gonna see it's gonna pop up on the screen right now. That's my editing.
Yeah, editing prowess is gonna.
So you're gonna see it right now.
Nice.
So you're gonna see where to follow him. You can see it right there. It's gonna be right here. I'm holding right my editing is so good.
I need you on my show.
Should be right here. I'm gonna put my finger. right here. I'm gonna do it like on YouTube. Right here. Follow me right here. Alright? So it's Coach _ Daniel 0311. And I'll have lots of tips for you guys, alright?
I don't know where to put my finger, but hopefully you'll
put it right there.
It's right here.
That's it. Follow him.
At plat _ beast _ follow me there. Look me up on Facebook, Dennis Serrano. I know you're on Facebook too, Daniel
Ponce. Yeah, I got my Facebook, yeah. But I think Instagram is better. But you can follow me on Facebook, Daniel. I have all my stuff there. Got Twitter. I even got a Twitter, bro.
Wow,
I don't even use. I just got it because
that's a funny thing.
You know what? Twitter's right here.
That's a funny thing. Shout to Work NYC. Shout to Jimmy Fly, Coach Will. Shout to 2 Training. Trey Fit. We were talking about that in the studio on Friday. We actually were talking about how Twitter sucks, but people have to use it for business.
Yeah. So you want to hit me up on Twitter? Hit me on Twitter. I just like Grunt Dan 87, but it's gonna be right here.
So around there.
Yeah.
So. That's episode 6 of the Fit Talk. The first step is taking the first step, so don't slack on your fitness. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
We're signing out. Peace.